You were lied to about saving money. Everyone told you the same thing about money. Save more, spend less, cut the coffee, cancel the subscriptions, track every dollar, live below your means. And if you just do all of that consistently, patiently, for long enough, you'll be fine. But here's the thing nobody warned you about. Some of the most disciplined savers in the world are still broke. People who haven't eaten at a restaurant in 2 years. People who know exactly what they spent on groceries in March of 2026. People who do everything right and still can't get ahead. And the reason why is going to change how you think about money completely. Because saving money, the thing we've been told our entire lives is the foundation of financial success, might actually be the slowest path to wealth ever invented. Meet Sarah. Sarah is 28 years old, and she is doing everything the financial gurus told her to do. She read the books. She watched the videos. She downloaded the budgeting app, and she actually uses it every single day. She makes coffee at home every morning. She buys store-brand groceries. She canceled Netflix, Hulu, and that gym membership she wasn't using enough to justify. Every month, Sarah saves $200, and she has been doing this without fail, with real discipline, with real sacrifice, for 5 years. So how much has Sarah saved? About $12,000. $12,000. In 5 years of saying no to things, of tracking and cutting and being careful. $12,000. That's sitting in a savings account earning almost nothing while inflation quietly eats away at its value. And here's what makes it worse. Sarah has a coworker, let's call him Marcus, who doesn't seem nearly as disciplined. Marcus buys coffee sometimes. Marcus goes out to eat. Marcus doesn't have a color-coded budgeting spreadsheet. But Marcus somehow has a growing investment account, real financial options, and the kind of quiet confidence around money that Sarah has been working toward for half a decade and still doesn't feel. What does Marcus know that Sarah doesn't? That's exactly what this video is about. And I promise you, by the end of this, you're going to see money completely differently. Because the answer isn't what most people expect. Here's the biggest lie in personal finance. And I want to say it plainly because I think it does real damage to real people. The lie is this: save more money and you will become wealthy. It sounds so reasonable. It sounds responsible and virtuous and smart. But here's what that advice fundamentally gets wrong. Saving money protects you from being broke. It does not make you wealthy. Those are two completely different things. And the personal finance industry has been blurring that line for decades because saving is easy to teach, easy to measure, and easy to sell a budgeting app around. Think about it this way. Saving is defense. It keeps you from going underwater when something goes wrong. And defense matters. I'm not saying throw your emergency fund out the window. But you cannot win a game by playing defense alone. At some point, you have to score. Wealth comes from growing money, from building assets, from making money generate more money while you sleep. Putting $200 a month in a savings account, earning 0.5% interest, is not the same thing as investing that $200 somewhere it can compound at 7 or 8% over 20 years. The math on those two paths isn't a small difference. It's the difference between having a cushion and having freedom. Now let's talk about the coffee, because I know it's coming and I want to address it directly. For years, personal finance culture has been obsessed with what they call the latte factor. The idea that your $5 daily coffee is secretly why you're not rich. Give up the latte, invest that money instead, and over 30 years, look at that, it turns into a meaningful number. And the math isn't wrong exactly. $5 times 365 days is $1,825 a year. That's real money. But let me ask you something honestly. Do you know a single person who became a millionaire because they stopped buying coffee? Not one. The latte factor became famous because it gave people something simple to do. A small, immediate sacrifice that felt like financial virtue. And there's nothing wrong with making coffee at home if you enjoy it. But here's what the latte factor completely misses. The problem is never the coffee. The problem is the income ceiling. When your income is fixed and your only strategy is cutting expenses, you are shuffling money around inside a box that isn't getting any bigger. You can optimize every dollar inside that box, and you might save an extra few $100s a month, but you are still inside the same box. The people building real wealth aren't obsessing over the size of the expenses. They're asking a completely different question. They're asking how to make the box bigger. And this, right here, is the shift that changes everything. Here's what wealthy people actually do. And I'm not talking about people who inherited money or won something. I'm talking about people who built financial security from nothing. They don't spend most of their mental energy cutting expenses. They spend it increasing income. Instead of finding a way to save $5, they're building a skill that makes them worth $500 more. Instead of canceling subscriptions, they're acquiring assets, investments, side income, things that generate money whether they're working or not. Instead of optimizing their grocery budget, they're negotiating a raise, building a side project, or investing consistently in index funds that compound over decades. That's the real strategy. And nobody puts it in the 30-second video because it's harder to teach and slower to see. Now let me show you what the math actually looks like, because this is the part that hits different. Two people, same age, same starting income, same city. Person A does everything traditional, cuts expenses, saves carefully, tracks every dollar. After 10 years of discipline, Person A has saved about $20,000. That's real. That's genuine sacrifice. But $20,000 at 40 years old is a cushion, not a foundation. Person B keeps expenses reasonable, not extravagant, but not obsessive either. Instead, Person B focuses on building income, invests in skills that increase earning power, puts money into index funds every month without fail, builds a small side income that grows over time. After 10 years, Person B has somewhere around $300,000 in assets. 20,000 versus 300,000. Same decade, same starting point. Two completely different questions being asked. Sarah is Person A. Marcus is Person B. Now here's the part of this conversation that almost nobody has. The hidden trap of extreme frugality. When saving becomes your entire identity, something quietly goes wrong. You start avoiding risk. You stay in jobs that pay less than your worth because the stability feels safe. You don't invest because investing feels uncertain. You become so focused on not losing money that you never learn how to make it. Some people are so busy saving money, they never learn how to make it. And that's not a character flaw. That's what happens when the only financial tool you were ever given was a budget. So here's what actually works. 3 rules, simple ones. Rule 1, save for security. An emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. Not for growth, for protection. Do this first. Keep it somewhere accessible. Then leave it alone. Rule 2, invest for growth. Every dollar beyond your emergency fund should be working harder than a savings account allows. Index funds, retirement accounts, assets that compound. The vehicle matters less than the habit of doing it consistently. Rule 3, increase your income constantly. This is the one people skip. A new skill, a better job, a negotiation for the raise you probably deserve, a side project that earns something small at first. Any of these moves the ceiling. And when the ceiling moves, everything changes. Here's the mindset shift underneath all 3 rules. Stop asking, how can I spend less? Start asking, how can I earn more? That single changing question changes what you notice, what you learn, what risks feel worth taking. It doesn't mean be reckless. It means stop treating your income like a fixed number you manage around and start treating it like something you can actually change. Saving money isn't bad. Let me be completely clear about that. An emergency fund is good. Avoiding debt is good. Living below your means is good. But if saving is your entire financial plan, if cutting expenses is where your strategy begins and ends, then you've been lied to. Not maliciously, but the advice is incomplete in a way that costs you decades. The real game of wealth isn't about cutting the coffee. It's about building cash flow. acquiring assets, making money work so that you eventually don't have to work as hard for money. Sarah worked hard for 5 years and has $12,000. Marcus built something that works for him, and the gap between them is only going to grow. The people who actually win financially don't just save money. They learn how to make money work for them. And that, unlike a budgeting app, is something you can start building today.